some technical difficulties. They are re-establishing connection. Alright, so both players have a re-established connection, and they will proceed to their to pick their leads and their back two. Now we see Hafiz has that interesting Ho-Oh, which actually has a good type advantage in this match because of Joel's two legendaries, the Kyogre and the Groudon. I mean, sorry, the Xerneas and Groudon. And the match is starting now, and we'll see the leads. Now we see Ho-Oh and Crobat from Hariz, and we see the Landorus Kangaskhan from Joel. Now the Landorus Intimidate might have a big effect on that Ho-Oh, since it's primarily a physical attacker. Crobat is quite a useful mon because it gets the move Fake Out. It gets the move Quick Guard to prevent the Fake Out from Kangaskhan. Also, its ability Inner Focus allows it so it doesn't ever get flinched. Mega Kangaskhan, Mega evolves. And we see the Protect. This is preventing any sort of Fake Out from Kangaskhan. And we see the Tailwind, and this is a huge momentum boost for Hariz. And we see the Rock Slide from the Lando team. Now both of Hariz's Pokemon are flying types, so they will be taking super effective damage from the Rock Slide. And Ho-Oh does not want to take a Rock Slide since it is 4 times weak to the Rock Slide from Lando team. So now that Hariz has a speed advantage, what will he do? And how will Joel react to this? Both players thinking very, very much about their moves. And Joel decides to switch out his Lando T. Interesting choice, because Lando T's Rock Slide would have done a lot to that Ho-Oh. And we see the Super Fang come out from Crobat, and the Sacred Fire on the Kangaskhan. Now that has a 50% chance to burn, and it doesn't. And we see Joel going for the Power Up Punch. And that's also a huge momentum boost for Joel now, because he gets +2 attack on his Kangaskhan. Fortunately for Joel, his Kangaskhan didn't get burned by that Sacred Fire, since there's a 50% chance that Sacred Fire burns. Now what will Cresselia do here? Possibly the Trick Room, considering that that Hariz has the speed advantage with Tailwind. And we see the Quick Guard preventing any sort of priority moves that Kangaskhan wants to go for. And it does. It Sucker Punch fails due to the Quick Guard from Crobat. And we see the Brave Bird going on to the Cresselia. Will that be enough to pick up the KO on the Kangaskhan? It is not. So the Landorus's Intimidate went a long way. Cresselia decides to go for the Ice Beam, which is going to take out the Crobat. Now, Hariz sends in his Kangaskhan. Now, his team still has the speed advantage, but he's already down one Pokemon. Now, Ho is still an interesting pick here. Let's see what Joel decides to do. He switches out into his Landers to get that Intimidate again. Smart move by Joel. Now, possibly the Cresselia could be going for the Trick Room here to reverse the dimensions and make the slower Pokemon move first. Now we see the Mega Evolution on that Kangaskhan. Does Hariz go for the Fake Out? He goes for the Double Edge. And that Intimidate goes a long way because the Landorus is able to live. And we see the Sacred Fire on the Ho-Oh going to the Cresselia. Is it enough? After 2 Intimidates, it gets the burn, and but the Cresselia lives on. We see the Lumberry from Cresselia, probably to help Smeargle matchups, but it helped it out there. And we do see the Trick Room. So now Joel's Pokemon will probably be going first. It depends on the speeds though. Now the slowest Pokemon will be going first. And now we also see Hariz's Tailwind has peered it out, which means he's no longer twice as fast. Probably the perfect time for him since now the Trick Room is up. Now let's see. Joel has all 4 of his Pokemon, but some of them are quite low on health. We've seen Joel's Cresselia, Landorus, and Kangaskhan. But we don't know his last one yet. It could be that Groudon or it could be that Xerneas. But he's definitely having a hard time getting rid of that Ho-Oh for his one of his legendaries in the back to do well. Now that the Trick Room up, let's see how these players react and what their choices will be. Kangaskhan decides to go for that Sucker Punch, which is priority, and it looks like it'll take out the Landorus just enough. And Cresselia will go for the Skill Swap. Interesting move to take away that parental bond from the Kangaskhan, which makes it so deadly. Kangaskhan now acquires the Levitate, which might actually help it out if Joel has that Groudon in the back. And we see the Sacred Fire on that Cresselia. It does not pick up the burn. And he does have the Groudon in the back. So this is a bit tricky for Joel now because he's just given that Kangaskhan Levitate. Which makes it immune to the ground type moves from Groudon. Let's see, the Trick Room is up still, so it looks like Groudon, depending on the speed, might be going first in this match. Or Cresselia. Now, Groudon could just go for the Rock Slide here and try to take out that Ho-Oh, which would probably be enough to take it out because it's 4 times weak to the Rock Slide. But let's see if Joel has that. And this is why Ho-Oh is so good here because it's immune to the ground type moves from Groudon, and its special defense is so high that it can take any special fire type moves that Groudon tries to throw out. So the only way for Groudon to hit it is its non-stab Rock Slide if that's what Joel decides to run. Kangaskhan withdraws. Let's see who Kyogre comes in. Now Kyogre's ability Primordial Sea will be able to cancel out Groudon's Desolate Land. So that gives Kyogre the advantage here because Groudon's fire type attacks will have no effect in the Primordial Sea. And Cresselia goes for the Moonlight. That will actually be doing that'll heal less than the rain. Only 20. So the skill swap here would be game-changing for Joel. That would reactivate his weather, make him immune to the water moves from Kyogre. Okay, we see Kyogre going for the Protect here. Oh, Cresselia goes for the Moonlight, maybe doesn't have the skill swap here. And we see Groudon going for the Swords Dance. Wow, interesting move by Joel. Definitely putting the momentum a little bit in his favor still, but it's still dependent on speed. And we see Ho-Oh going for that Tailwind. And I think if Trick Room expires here, that just might be game. I mean, sorry, if Trick Room doesn't expire, Trick Room stays on in effect, and let's see how Joel plays this out. So now we have a +2 Groudon on the field, paired with the Cresselia in Trick Room, and Hariz has just set up the Tailwind. So now Hariz is actually at a speed advantage for this turn because of the Trick Room, which makes him faster. Now we see Hariz withdrawing the Kyogre, probably a smart move, but I think it might be a little too late for that. Now we see Kangaskhan switching in. Now whatever Cresselia decides to go for the skill swap is skill swap. So that's reactivating Groudon's Desolate Land. Let's see what he decides to do here. Groudon goes for the Fire Punch onto the Kangaskhan. That's a +2 Fire Punch in the sun. That takes it out in one hit. Now let's see what Ho-Oh does. Ho-Oh goes for the Sacred Fire in the sun. That's probably enough to take out that Cresselia once and for all. It lives, but it gets the burn. I think it's enough. Will it stay on the field? It lives just with 8 HP. And Twisted Dimensions turn to normal, which means the Kyogre has that advantage now in the rain and with speed because of that Tailwind. Now let's see. This is a very, very speed-dependent turn. We already know that Kyogre and Ho-Oh will be moving first this turn, but it kind of depends on if Origin Pulse can KO that Groudon if it hits. So let's see. And we see Hariz's Ho-Oh hasn't taken much damage since the beginning of the game. It's been there since the very beginning, and Joel hasn't been able to successfully damage it very much. Ho-Oh's flying and fire ability is helping it out in this match a lot. Let's see, Groudon goes for the Protect. Is that a mistake here, or is that something? Kyogre goes for the Scald, and Ho-Oh goes for the Brave Bird, finishing off that Cresselia. This looks like game for Joel. He doesn't have any win condition. That Kyogre is just gonna take it out. Tailwind is still in effect here. Oh, and Kangaskhan comes in. My bad. Kangaskhan comes in. He has the fake out priority here. He can choose to fake out either one of Hariz's Pokemon, making them immune, making them unable to do any damage that turn. This turn will decide the match. Whatever the players decide to do here will be the winner. Will cost them the winner or loss. Kangaskhan goes with the fake out on the. And that's the game. Well played by Hariz. Well played by Hariz. Joel decided to fake out that Ho-Oh, and it was the wrong choice. And the Tailwind is expired. That's game for Hariz. Hariz has taken the game. Now that's a huge achievement since Joel was the the first place slot, he went 6-0 in Swiss, and Hariz, the newcomer,